lovely hush fell over the room. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Kay McGrath. I am a journalist with the Seven Network, and I am a long-time and very passionate child protection advocate. And it really is a pleasure to welcome you all here this afternoon. These Child Protection Week awards really kick off Child Protection Week in Queensland, and the week, believe it or not, is in its 36th year. And I was 30 years old when it began, so that's pretty easy maths to do, isn't it? But I'm delighted to say I was there for the very first one. And I'm delighted to say how wonderful it is to see so many familiar, fabulous, dedicated faces here in this room today. The week will run officially from the 4th through to the 10th of September, and there are many, many events and functions around Queensland, so I urge you all to check out what they are. This, of course, as usual, is a very special opportunity to celebrate and acknowledge the heroes, I'd like to call you heroes, and the champions, professional and volunteers who are working tirelessly to keep our most vulnerable, our children, safe, whether it's in the real world or online. As I said, we've got a mix of professionals and volunteers amongst us today. I'm truly delighted as well that Channel 7 is still a very committed sponsor of this. Reese Alcamo's doing a fine job over there, and my colleague Max is also in the room today. Thank you to all of our sponsors, because events like this would not be possible without you. A gentle reminder before we move forward that the phones are on silent, but we want you to keep them handy, and feel free to take photos and share them on your social media platforms. It's an opportunity to get the message out even further and showcase these extraordinary humans and learn about these wonderful programs. You could use the hashtag Queensland QLD Child Protection Week. We're going to upload onto the official social media sites as well, and this is my opportunity to say welcome to all of those who are watching us live on Facebook, so thanks for tuning in. Let's acknowledge, importantly, and thank our dignitaries who've carved out the time to be with us today. Parliament is sitting, we can hear the bells ringing. Minister, I don't know what, is that a trigger for you? Lunch. Oh, that's very good. We're delighted that she's spending lunch with us. So yes, Leanne Lennart, who of course is the Minister for Children and Youth Justice and Multicultural Affairs, looking resplendent in her jacaranda jacket. It's lovely to have you. Amanda Cam, I believe, is joining us as well. Welcome, Amanda, the Shadow Minister for Child Protection. Uncle Alex Davidson, lovely to have you with us. Georgina Livingston, the Chair of Queensland Child Protection Week Committee. And a welcome to our sponsor representatives as well. Deirdre Mulcairn, the Director General from the Department of Children, is here to present, as is Luke Twyford. Welcome, Luke. Luke's the Principal Commissioner these days for the Queensland Family and Child Commission. Catherine Innes is with us. Welcome, Assistant Commissioner from QPS. Belinda Drew, it's lovely to have you, Belinda. Belinda's a Deputy DG of the Department of Communities, Housing and Digital Economy. Such mouthfuls, aren't they? Lengthy titles, hard to fit underneath the name badges. Kathy Parton, we're hoping will join us. Kathy's the Acting DG of the Department of Seniors, Disability Services and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Partnerships. Hayley Stevenson's also with us. Hayley is the Assistant DG, Disability Inclusion and Student Services from the Department of Education. Andrea Locks is the Director of Business Transformation at Ernst & Young. Welcome again, Andrea. Jimmy Dukas is the GM for Queensland Public Sector from Telstra. Thanks for coming, Jimmy. And as I mentioned, my colleague and friend, journalist and presenter Max Futcher is joining us from Channel 7. But of course I want to acknowledge everybody in the room, all the senior executives from both government and non-government child protection and welfare organisations in Queensland. Welcome to you all. Welcome to previous award recipients who are with us, many distinguished guests amongst us, and most importantly, of course, welcome to this year's award winners, to your families and friends and colleagues. So, ladies and gentlemen, the formalities, consider them done. When you arrive on stage, nobody's precious, and you don't need to go through our list of dignitaries again, unless there's a particular strategy you have in mind. Before we get to our awards ceremony, we have a very special welcome to country. Uncle Alex Davidson is a Gubbi-Gubbi traditional custodian with a connection to the Kaulula people and the Turrbal people north of the Brisbane River. Uncle Alex has lived in and around the North Brisbane and Moreton Bay communities for more than 30 years now, and he continues to be a truly active member of the community and an elder. For example, Uncle Alex is currently sitting on the First Nations Advisory Board for Child Safety, working closely with the Minister, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Steering Committee for the Prince Charles Hospital. Alex is a director with the Badja Dajan, forgive my Dajan, thank you Uncle Alex, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island Men's Council, and he's a member of the North Brisbane Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Men's Shed, Indigenous Community Policing Consultative Group and Ethnic Leaders Group. That's just to name a few. Would you please welcome Uncle Alex.
Thank you very much, Kate. I really appreciate that. It's good to see you again. But first of all, I have to run around and borrow this off one of the co-managers out of Kabingai. My grandson threw mine away. First, why I like to use this first, I said I'd like to invite my our ancestors to this ceremony, and I feel it's important for us to keep in touch with who we are from the past. First of all, I'll just welcome us. Wanya. That's a traditional welcome from the Gubbi-Gubbi people, the Turrbal people, the Jagera people from across the river, the Fraser Island mob. We basically all speak the same language, this tribal group here. And if you feel out of place about Southeast Queensland has been a major pathway for a lot of different people, for thousands of years by Aboriginal people. People have come here from far away as Moree, the northern rivers of New South Wales. They got it in their Dreamtime stories as far as Mackay, the Birigaba people. So in saying that, I'd like to say Wanya to all the Indigenous people, non-Indigenous people, Wanya to you guys too. We need to be part of what we're doing now. I have got an award from here too, quite a few years ago. And then they started to give me the mic, and I had a little bit of a talk. And it was a bit of a talk, yeah, to me it was. I can talk for hours. Anyways, when I got the mic in my hand, I said, you know, me as an elder can see the changes of Department of Children's Service towards Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people. They finally gave me a foot in the door. And I said, you've done that for us, you let us get a foot in the door. I can remember the time you knock on the door and they'll get security to remove you. But those days are finished and gone. They've opened the doors for us, and the changes are here, and we all need to be part of it. The important part about it is that we're all in this together. We need each and every, we're the most successful multicultural society in the world, and we all need to be part of it. We're made to become part of the non-Indigenous society. The non-Indigenous society is time to step back and be part of who we are too. Thank you very much for letting me talk. Wanya, welcome to the
Thank you so much, Uncle Alex, and it's wonderful to hear those words reinforcing the importance of inclusion, particularly in these times. Thank you for making us feel welcome. Now, every year, being a Child Protection Week event, we try to showcase some of the fabulous talent that we have in Queensland. This particular performance has been, I'm told, brewing for quite a number of years, so I'll give you a little bit of background. In 2018, Bundaberg Child Protection Week Action Group ran a music program that stretched over 5 days with Melinda Wells and the Central University of Queensland, with funding from the Regional Arts Development Fund and local young people. Now, the idea was to create a jingle for the group's mascot, who's called Sunny. However, the results were much more exciting than just that, with several young people writing and recording songs, and then some continuing on to singing careers. How good is that? Well, the original song, which was written by Brie Anderson, really struck a chord with members of the committee who kept that recording in the hope that maybe it would be used in a Child Protection Week campaign at some stage. Well, this year, Veronica Taylor from the Bundaberg Group shared the song with NAPCAN, the National Association for the Prevention of Child Abuse and Neglect. And NAPCAN also saw the value and collaborated with Swarm Studios to record and create a film clip for the song. And Veronica, I believe, is a guest here today. There you are, Veronica. Hello, welcome. And we're fortunate to have some of the young people from Swarm Studios here to perform the song. How good is this? Missing, sadly, is Brie due to some pressing work engagements. So would you please welcome the young people from Swarm?
Listen to us, believe what we say. It's not just 1 week, it's every day. Listen to us, believe what we say. It's not just 1 week, it's every day. Don't be afraid to reach out for help, 'cause to go through it all yourself. Stop all the violence and stop all the fights. Let your voice be heard, cause children have rights. It's time to change and for us to speak out. To help the children to change our time. To come together, stand up for what's right. It's time to change and for us to speak out. To help the children to change our time. But don't believe it, we can be alive. Yeah, it starts with me. I wanna help the routine. Positivity and humility. Spread the awareness and stop the neglect. Teach the world kindness, teach the world love, teach the respect. Everybody's got their own role to play. And every small action helps in its own way. If we stand together, we can make it through anything, whatever the weather. We can make it to better things that won't last forever. So no, don't freak out, I'm not alone, just reach out. I know what you're going through, it's fine to seek help. You know what we about, it's time to speak out. And this is what we're gonna do, stand with us. We can change the world, we just begun, so let your voice be heard. With us as one, we can change the world. We just begun, so let your voice be heard. It's time. And for us to speak out, to help the children, to change our time, to come together, stand up for what's right. It's time to change, and for us to speak out, to help the children, to change our time. Don't believe it, we can be alive.
Well done, that was awesome, guys. We have a very small token of our appreciation for you bringing your fantastic talents along. Thank you. What's your name?
Sina.
Sina, that was beautiful. Thank you
so
very
much.
much. Would you Brilliant, really catchy, great lyrics. Thank you so much. But they're fantastic. Another round. Swarm Studios. Okay, moving on. Just before we get into our awards, I would like to invite a special lady to join me out on stage. Georgina Livingston, by day, is the Queensland manager for Headspace Schools and Communities, and by night, well, and day, I suspect, she is the chair of the Queensland Child Protection Week Committee. Would you please welcome Georgina?
Thank you, Kay, and if only my nights were so interesting. So thanks everyone for being here. I'd like to welcome you all. I know Kay has done our official welcomes. We have some really special people joining us online as well, so we're live streaming this event today. So I hope you can all hit like and subscribe. That's what you're meant to do, aren't you, for online videos, yeah? So thanks everyone for being here. Thank you also, Uncle Alex, for your welcome. I can see you up the back there. It's, I think what really stood out to me about what you said was the power of being together and the things that we can do together, and together we're stronger. So thank you for your welcome. I too would like to acknowledge the Yagara and the Turrbal people as the traditional owners of the land on which we're meeting today, and pay my respects to elders past, present and future. I'd also like to acknowledge the First Nations people that are here with us today as well. I'd also like to acknowledge the strength and resilience of family and kin and connection that is needed to be so strong in the face of colonisation and its impacts. So we know that it's been a testing few years. You can ask anyone. We've all got a story to tell. And COVID has brought with it specific challenges to the child protection sector, both to children and young people, but also to our workforce. Just when we drop our shoulders and take a breath for a moment, we're really realising that our new normal has other plans for us. Whatever plans we might have made, we've now got to have an alternative. We need to have an A, a B and a C. In Queensland, compared to last year, we had a 3.4% increase in the number of children needing care. Those that work in the sector have seen firsthand how families who are vulnerable have become more so. The usual wellbeing safety nets for at-risk young people, such as school, sports, friends and services, have been somewhat unpredictable to access. The ability of workers to maintain genuine connection with children and young people has required Herculean efforts, and I'm going to come back to the importance of that in a moment. We also know that children and young people are reaching out for mental health support in greater numbers than we've seen previously. In my day job, I talk frequently with teachers and guidance staff who work in schools, and they report that they're holding more complexity than ever when it comes to mental health and wellbeing for children and young people. As you know, our existing mental health support services are experiencing really high levels of demand, which is great on one hand because it means young people are reaching out for that support. But we know that many services are at max capacity and often have long wait lists, and in the current kind of recruitment environment are experiencing those challenges too. So yes, things can feel a bit overwhelming when faced with this reality. Today though, I want to ask you to put on a different hat and try out the feeling of being hopeful and optimistic. We're in desperate need of a reset, and many of us are caught up in this negative news cycle about the state of the world, and we know that this not only impacts us, but it also impacts the children and young people that we're supporting. We need to be deliberate and overt about cultivating hope and optimism in our own lives, in our organisations, but also in the ways that we support children and young people to feel positive about their futures. Hope and optimism are fundamental components to our sector. They enable us to get up and do it again and again and again. And most of you, well, all of you, probably wouldn't be in this room if you didn't have a little bit of that. So today is all about challenging the dominant narrative around child protection. And as I look around, I see some very good-looking people who are absolutely incredible. And in actual fact, you're all sitting next to at least one. So if you look to your left, look to your left, look to your right, give each other a nod. It takes grit, it takes determination, and it takes tenacity to show up for young people. So thank you for all you do. When we show up, we demonstrate hope and optimism, and that there is a brighter day ahead for our most vulnerable and at-risk children and young people, and that we might be fortunate enough to play a small part in that. We're here today to celebrate, and we do this every year because it provides an opportunity to call out reasons for hope and optimism, to celebrate our child protection champions, to take a moment to fill our own cups and remember that there are a stack of positive things happening out there that are changing lives. And when I was thinking about this concept earlier in the week, I was thinking about how today is actually a contributor to our collective well-being as a sector. So throughout the last few years, though, we have heard the word well-being bandied around quite a lot. What does it actually mean? Well, it relates to the whole of who we are. It's about our physical, social, emotional and mental health. I'll say it again. Our physical, social, emotional and mental health. It's pretty big. It's a complex mix of our relationships, a sense of belonging or inclusion, spirituality, our diet, having meaning and purpose in our lives, how we have fun, spend our downtime, and our ability to adapt to change, as well as being seen and heard and having agency over our own lives. Wellbeing is fundamental in helping us to cope and respond to the curveballs of life. And for vulnerable young people, attaining wellbeing can sometimes be hard. For workers, it can sometimes seem overwhelming, and many don't know where to start in terms of providing support. A report released by Create in May 2020 highlighted research that showed that young people with an out-of-home care experience who report more positive wellbeing are more likely to progress to higher education, maintain independent living, and be less likely to be involved with the police. So let me ask you, what do you think has the largest impact for young people in terms of cultivating positive wellbeing? Yeah, it's not a common response. It's just like I'm just putting it out there. So if you're getting worried, if you're thinking connection and relationships though, well, you'd be correct. Young people with a care experience have told us that the most important thing that helps them to feel healthy and happy is their relationships. Positive relationships with family, with kin or carers, mates, teachers, coaches, pets, and support workers. All are major contributors to wellbeing. So, I leave you to ponder the value of hope, optimism, and the role that authentic relationships can play in value adding to outcomes for at-risk children and young people. If you can do little else, be a good human, be kind, listen, connect. And know that by doing that, you're also making a significant contribution to the wellbeing of the young people you're supporting and caring for. Thank you.
Georgina, thank you. You made so many good and important points, some sobering statistics. You know, we've got a job summit underway in Canberra today. I doubt anybody in this room will be out of a job anytime soon. But how vital is it that we hang on to the hope and we celebrate all the good and positive stories, the good people. Thank you for all the work that you do in both your roles, which are hugely important. Please pass our thanks on to the rest of the committee. Another special lady is now going to address us, and as I said, the Minister is a very busy woman. The House is sitting. It's the first day of spring though, and that jacket I really do admire. As the Minister for Children and Multicultural Affairs, Leanne Leonard is deeply committed to her role, a mother of two. And I'm sure, Minister, that it's not lost on you that by carving out time from your busy schedule, you reinforce the importance of our champions who are being acknowledged today. Can I invite you to say a few words?
Thank you so much, Kay, and I thank you for the compliments about this jacket. I wore it because of the colour and that it's bright, and last year I wore a really bright colour because I'm always excited about this event because it is a celebration, and you call that out so beautifully. But it's a celebration of all of you, and it's a special day. I will acknowledge though, it's very hot. So this is a winter jacket, or a parliament jacket where the air conditioning is always so high that it is like polar bear country. But I would like to start by honouring the traditional owners of the land upon which we gather today. The first Australians, whose lands, winds and waters we all now share, and pay tribute to their unique values and their ancient and enduring cultures, which deepen and enrich the lives of our community. These are the words in the Queensland Constitution, and I look forward to a voice to the Federal Parliament enshrined in the Federal Constitution. And I would like to pay my respects to elders, past, present and emerging. And I'm not sure if Uncle is still in the room. Is Uncle in the room? He might not be. Oh, Uncle Alex, thank you. I was looking at your chair here, but you're at the back. I do want to acknowledge you, Uncle, because, and Kevin, from my local community, Uncle is from my electorate of Nudgee, and it was a wonderful surprise to see him here today, along with you, Kevin and Glenda, from Kabingai, because not only do our elders, our First Nations elders, but elders from across all different cultural groups, they share the wisdom and guide us as we move forward, and never let us forget about the mistakes of the past, but also the richness of experience and learnings and lived experience. And Uncle, to have you here, we have many deep chats and conversations. We always have over the last 8 years, and I thank you for your graciousness and all elders here, particularly our First Nations elders who continue to come to the table, particularly in such a sensitive area like child safety and youth justice, and continue to meet with us and walk alongside us as we really learn from you and probably should have listened a lot earlier. But anyway, we won't get into that. I thank you for your graciousness. Okay, you have asked an impossible task of a member of parliament or a politician, not to work through my very long acknowledgements list, but you have done such a beautiful job that I will just leave it to say thank you to you. You are such a beautiful MC, and not because of your professionalism, and we all know you're an incredibly professional, talented and experienced woman, but it is the heart you bring to everything. And that's why we love having you for events like this. That's why we love having you work in such difficult areas across government, because it is the dedication and the voice you bring to issues that require and deserve that voice. So thank you for your service. And I will absolutely acknowledge in the audience here today, all of you, the sector, the award recipients, the people who have nominated, those who have been awarded, those who won't receive an award today but spend every day in the service to vulnerable children and young people. Thank you so much for what you do. This is a celebration of you. We were talking just before, Georgina and I, at the back, we had a few seconds about it being a celebration, and that you don't in the narrative publicly often hear the positive things. That's all I talk about. You will never read or hear those things. Those aren't the quotes that get put out for me as a member of parliament, a politician or a minister, but they are the things that I talk about all day, every day, which is you and the people that we serve. So thank you so much for being here today. So 2022, Queensland Child Protection Week. What a wonderful opportunity to reflect on, to honour the invaluable work undertaken by the sector, which supports our most important asset in Queensland, our children and our young people. And anybody who knows me knows that there is nothing in this world that I love more than my two gorgeous boys that Kay referred to, Jordan and Ollie. Children and young people, both in my own local community and across Queensland, and the sense of connection and privilege that I have for serving the electorate of Nudgee. And not only did I have Uncle here from my local community, but Swarm Studios is from my local community, and I didn't know they were here, so I just want to own it had nothing to do with me. Thank you so much, the amazing organising committee that have realised the deep talent, well of talent that we have, and the Northside electorate of Nudgee, the place of the black duck. But Swarm Studios, I do want to give them a bit of a shout out, a bit of love, because they are a place, a cool place, where everybody's welcome and they give a voice through music and creativity and the arts to young people. And it was in fact where both of my own children got to start playing drums. So thanks Swarm for that, because I have a drum kit in my house. But you know, they really do give a voice to young people. It's not necessarily a microphone where everyone wishes to be, but a voice and a way to communicate how young people are feeling through dance and music. So they're wonderful people, and it was really lovely to hear of that collaboration today. So this significant annual event would not be possible, of course, without the commitment of the many dedicated volunteers on the Queensland Child Protection Week Committee. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the volunteers who represent the 30 organisations whose generosity and efforts ensure this week is a fitting celebration of the sector and the broader community. I would like to acknowledge you, Georgina, as the chair. Thank you for your words. It is something that I look forward to every year, not just the awards and the celebration, but I always love the message. I think it's always fills the well, I hope, for everyone here to hear those words of inspiration, because of course our chairs are people who not only bring this event to life every year, but are deeply committed and of the sector themselves. So thank you so much for your words. There is a saying from an unknown author: it is easier to build up a child than it is to repair an adult. And while I don't like the word repair, I would insert heal, I would insert support. That is absolutely true. The people in this room know this. We're here today to recognise the work that you do individually and collectively as a sector to do just that, to stand up and represent vulnerable children, young people, families and communities, their needs. In my role as Minister for Children, I am privy to many of the heartwarming and heartbreaking stories and situations that you respond to every day. Thank you for your dedication, and thank you for your commitment to keeping children safe and protected. Child Protection Week is one way we can honour your service and your professionalism and your expertise in working alongside children and families to create change and a better future. It is also an opportunity to celebrate the sector and the extremely important role it fulfills across Queensland. Because this week sends a message not only to those who may touch the child protection sector, but to the broader community that child safety and child protection really is everyone's business. Child Protection Week campaigns across the state help amplify this message in our communities, our schools, and hopefully our homes. At the core of a child's prosperity is a strong and safe family unit, backed by an equally strong and caring community. That's why earlier this year we made the historic announcement that we will extend support to young people leaving care up to the age of 21. This was truly one of my proudest moments since being appointed the Minister almost 2 years ago. This reform belongs absolutely to the young people who called for it, and I, along with I know my Director General, will never forget the stories. Don't cry! You're tearing up and now I'm tearing up. We'll truly never forget, and I know we're both thinking of, the stories of these young people when they sat across from it. We all know this, we've all been touched by it, but the stories that they told me, they are the reasons that we argue and do so much, so hard for the things that we do every day, but that I didn't leave any question, oh, look at this now, look what you've done, it's a rule, you don't get teary in public if you're a politician. When I argued vehemently, my government was in no question about why this mattered, and I thank them for their support. They understood, and we committed to it. They bravely share their lived experiences for the benefit of all of those who will come. From 2023 to 24, carers will continue to receive allowances for young people who want to remain with their foster or kinship carers. And for those young people aged 18 to 21 leaving non-family-based care, they will be mentored and supported financially by non-government organisations to live independently. This will be truly life-changing for so many young people. Another historic announcement last month, the Path to Treaty, will set the foundation for a new and just relationship, one that acknowledges the injustices experienced by our First Nations Queenslanders. Path to Treaty will provide a platform for truth-telling, equality and opportunity. It is overdue. It is a momentous step, and I'm excited to see what it brings for my department. And I thank you, Uncle, for acknowledging the department has come a long way. And there are many people from the department here, many of the senior leaders I work with every day, and they are deeply committed to not continuing the wrongs of the past, but to engaging in meaningful conversation and honouring conversation. And I thank you for acknowledging those efforts and the true heart of the department today also. Both announcements show the power of advocacy and the importance of honouring the voices of those with lived experience. It shows what can be achieved when we have a coalition of passionate and committed colleagues. Child protection is an ever-changing environment, and we know we have a lot more to do. Endless reform is important because we'll never arrive at a perfect system that absolutely supports children and young people unless we always know that there is more to do and more to improve. I'm grateful to have a child safety sector that is ferociously committed to achieving better outcomes, and I would also say ferociously honest. I really love how honest the sector is. When I meet with our partners across the state, whether it's here in Brisbane, I much prefer to get out to you on the ground and to see what you're doing. Always incredibly honest, and I'm so grateful because we're talking about children and young people and we don't have time to waste by being anything other than honest. So before we move on to Child Protection Week awards, I would like to acknowledge the significance of these awards. Each year, the Child Protection Week awards allow us to highlight some significant pieces of work across sectors. Award winners are chosen by their peers, and I congratulate everyone receiving an award today. We must share these successes and encourage further innovation and partnerships. I look forward to hearing about the winners today and learning more about the incredible programs, organisations and individuals doing amazing work. To everyone in the sector, I again extend my sincere appreciation for everything you do. There can be no greater role than protecting our children and giving them every opportunity to make their mark on the world, regardless of the trauma that they no doubt will have experienced to different levels. Every child in Queensland deserves the opportunities, the love and the hope that I know my two boys have, and that's the approach I take every single day that I come and do this job. Thank you so much for having me.
Minister, thank you very much for those kind words and for that address, and for your leadership, your fearless and ferocious leadership, and I think DG, Deirdre and you are quite a formidable team. It's great to have you in that role. Now, we are going to move on, ladies and gentlemen, to the awards presentation, and let me tell you how it will unfold. The Minister, fittingly, will present the first award for this afternoon. We have 11 awards, and there is tea brewing down the back of the room. We'll have a well-deserved cuppa at the end of this. I will invite the award presenter or sponsor to the stage. Then I will announce the category, the winner, and we'll tell you a bit more about the winner as they elegantly make their way up to the stage. And excitedly, and don't dilly-dally, please, the sponsor will then present this fabulous trophy, and then there'll be a photo. So if you can make your way, move a bit further forward and make life easy for our fabulous photographers here, they'd be very pleased. And then, ladies and gentlemen, winners, you have 2 minutes for your acceptance speech, and I have a stopwatch. So let's begin. Our first award this afternoon is the Professional Non-Government Award. This is awarded for an outstanding contribution to promoting child protection issues in their capacity as a professional working in the child protection or related field. And our winner this afternoon, our first winner, is Caroline Collins. Caroline's commitment in this area has resulted in an improvement in the lives of vulnerable children and young people in the Gympie region. Hello, Caroline. Through facilitating multiple partnerships, projects, events and reports in her role as Local Level Alliance Coordinator, Carolyn has facilitated the creation of 2 States of Gympie Children reports based on Australian early childhood data. They've identified the particular vulnerabilities of the impacted children, and from this, working parties have been established to improve outcomes for them. The Reaching Families program has led to the successful funding of a pop-up play project that's so effective it's attracted funding from the Primary Health Network, not an easy thing. It's also been considered for rollout beyond Gympie and right around the state. Caroline's also played a key role in the delivery of a range of popular events aimed at engaging families and raising awareness around early childhood engagement and prevention, including Gympie Little Kids Day Out, Child Protection Week activities and messy play, as well as the Teddy Bear Health Check. Caroline, as you can see, goes above and beyond in her part-time role. She's great connections in her community and does outstanding work. Ladies and gentlemen, please.
To be here today, and I share this award with all the community members, government departments, business and service providers of the Gympie Region Local Level Alliance who are working collaboratively to improve outcomes for children. Across the Gympie region, we've been working on innovative and place-based responses so that every child can receive the support they need to thrive. Through data and stories from families, we know that many children are facing complex issues and experiencing vulnerability. We also know that these issues have been exacerbated by critical housing shortages, homelessness and natural disasters. Some parts of the Gympie region have been cut off 5 times by floods this year. The only way that we can make a lasting difference and keep our children and young people safe is by strongly working together and aligning our effort and resources. It has to be about our region, our collective values and what works. We're seeing some positive impacts through creative new initiatives which are breaking down the barriers that families experience when accessing support. We are seeing families in need connect with support services earlier when a hospitality approach facilitates opportunities, and by using places that children and families frequent, like playgrounds and shopping centres. I would particularly like to thank and acknowledge the huge contribution of the LLA core group. Abby, Jane, Barb, Andre, Jenny and Lisa, most of whom are here today, who are the true backbone and inspiration for our efforts. I'm so fortunate to work amongst people and in a community where there is a shared responsibility for keeping children safe and a strong motivation to make a difference. Thanks so much.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Those kids are so lucky to have you in their corner. Well done to our first award winner. And Minister, thank you so much for doing the honours there. I'm going to be the presenter for this next award. It's the Professional Government Award, and it's for outstanding contribution to child protection at a practice, policy or service development level within the public service. Our winner is Elizabeth Harris. Let me tell you about Elizabeth. She established and manages the out-of-home care health advisor role within the Children's Plus unit at the Sunshine Coast Hospital and Health Service. This role is designed to ensure that local children in out-of-home care receive regular health and developmental assessments. Elizabeth is described by her team as passionate, one of a kind, and she sees all these kids on a truly regular basis. She creates a safe and comfortable, secure environment for the children and young people. She does this by seeing her patients in their most preferred and comfortable space. That could be daycare, school, or perhaps their carers' homes. Elizabeth, with the help of the wider child protection team based on Sunshine Coast, also secured funding from Wishlist, which is a local hospital charity, to provide backpacks filled with essential items for children and young people in out-of-home care, something of their very own to cherish as they often enter care, as we'll hear, with very little. There's no role across any Queensland Health Child Protection Unit or wider Queensland Health Services that's implemented in this particular way. Elizabeth's success can also be attributed to the excellent working relationships that she has established and I'm sure cultivates and maintains with the 3 child safety service centres across the Sunshine Coast region. Sadly, Elizabeth couldn't be with us today, but she has recorded this acceptance speech. A round of applause perhaps for Elizabeth.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Harris. It's such an incredible honour to receive this award today, and I'm just sorry that I couldn't be there in person to accept it. People often say that working with children in out-of-home care must be challenging or rewarding, but I really think they miss the point. I'll give you an example. 1 year ago, I visited a child who's 6 years old in the carer's home. He was new to care and completely traumatised, withdrawn and shut down. He burst into tears every time I asked him a question because he was so scared of getting the answer wrong. It was really very sad. 2 weeks ago, I revisited the same child, but it was like a different boy that answered the door. He said, "I remember you and your funny accent." He then breezed through the assessment without falter and not a tear in sight. We finished with him playing me 3 songs on his new saxophone. It was quite incredible. I left that house thinking that is why we all do child protection. Of course, I couldn't do my job without a lot of support from some amazing people. I'd like to give a special thanks to Dr. Erica Bear, first of all for creating this role and then for employing me to do it. Thank you, Erica. I also have 2 amazing team leaders, Jill Dowling and Laura Easterbrook, who have allowed this model to evolve and grow into what it is today. We are incredibly proud to be able to take healthcare to the child in a way that is least traumatising and most accepting to them and their carers. I'd also like to thank my CPLO colleagues and my child safety colleagues who support me every day and trust me with the healthcare of the children. Finally, I'd like to thank the Child Protection Week Committee. You have no idea how much this award means to me and the Sunshine Coast Child Protection team. Have a fabulous day, because I am off to lie on a beach. Goodbye.
Elizabeth Harris, a woman with a fabulous accent, it's not a funny accent, and a warm heart, obviously, and a great sense of humour. So wonderful to see her. Right, let's move on to our third award, and I'm going to invite my friend and colleague Max Futcher from Channel 7 to join me on stage and present this next award, which is for media and communications, and that involves the development of an innovative approach, research or resource to promote child protection. And the winner is DNX Media, the children in the pictures. The nominees, Akim Dev, Simon Nash, Tony Wright, are the creators of this documentary feature film, The Children in the Pictures. We have Akim Dev with us today. The film, and I'm sure many people in the room probably have seen the film, it reveals the difficult and painstaking work of police specialising in investigating online child sexual exploitation, particularly those investigators from Task Force Argos, which is the world-renowned specialist unit of the QPS, who've pioneered a victim-centric approach to what's become the world's fastest-growing major crime. The nominees are also instigators of the associated Impact campaign, which has shifted public understanding on this crisis. The doco was released in Australia in October last year, first in cinemas, and then it was broadcast on SBS. The Children in the Pictures has provoked an extraordinary response from audiences around Australia, but indeed around the globe. More than 500,000 Australians have now seen the film, generating exceptional media coverage and doubling the social media discussion, which is a difficult thing to do around this subject in the 3 months following the release. It resulted in more than 80% of audiences saying they felt more comfortable discussing child sexual exploitation material, and 90% of parents and caregivers later initiating a discussion about online safety with their children. Queensland police investigators have attended virtual and in-person screenings of the film at the United Nations in New York and Vienna, London, Brussels, Los Angeles and Washington DC, Ottawa and elsewhere to highlight the world-leading work of Queensland police in this field. There's been a 20% decline in the incorrect use of the term child pornography since the release of the film. The correct term, of course, is child sexual exploitation material. The nominees continue to work with the Australian Centre to counter child exploitation on the development of educational resources. The film will become the centrepiece of the United Nations General Assembly next year. Most importantly, the film helps, as we heard previously, educate parents and caregivers about the risk that children face online. Akim Dev is accepting the award.
Hi, I'm absolutely blown away because I've just been sitting in the back and I've just been Googling everyone's banners and just seeing the incredible work that you do. Look, I'm just a TV guy, I just make documentaries, I talk about it, but you guys live it, and you know, the work that you guys do at the coalface of child protection is just so admirable, and I just feel really humbled to be in the same room with you people, and you know, congratulations to all the other recipients and nominees. I accept this award on behalf of myself, Tony Wright and Simon Nash. It's been an absolute honour and a privilege to work with the investigators at Task Force Argos of Queensland Police. and the Australian Centre for Counter Child Exploitation. Claire's actually just read most of what I was going to say in my notes, but yeah, look, the documentary is just going from strength to strength. We're having a congressional screening in front of the US. I just hope that they're as nice as our local politicians over there. Don't know if they're going to look as good in lavender, but you know, we hope that it'll have a good response. And the reason it is getting shown over there is because Australia is regarded as a world leader in child protection from a police response. And also, a lot of the work that NGOs and organisations like yourself do is being acknowledged globally and internationally. So, yeah, it just really makes me proud to be an Australian and be able to spread the message about, you know, what we all do. So, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Dev. Apologies for stealing your thunder. And if you haven't already seen the doco, I really recommend you do. Dev told me yesterday SBS will continue to be showing it. So I really encourage you to take a look. And I can also confess that Dev actually stole my thunder in a way. It was a project that I would love to have worked on myself, but clearly I don't have the connections. Really does. Well done, Dev. It's a great piece of work. Let's move along, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to invite Jimmy Dukas, who is the GM for Queensland Public Sector from Telstra, to pop up on stage and present the Volunteer Award. This is for invaluable contributions to child protection made by volunteers working in government or non-government agencies. We have two winners this year. They are Karen and Darren Gurman from Hope in a Suitcase, Australia. Karen and Darren, which rhyme beautifully, are passionate foster carers who wanted to make a difference to the lives of children in their care, as well as to other children and young people in the system. Not prepared to see children and young people entering care and moving to a new home following perhaps a placement breakdown with nothing but the clothes on their backs or with a few items shoved into a plastic bag, Karen and Darren established the Queensland arm of Hope in a Suitcase Australia. It's a volunteer-run, not-for-profit organisation which provides children and young people in care and out-of-home care with their very own brand new suitcase. They're filled with essential items such as toiletries, bath towel, underwear, pyjamas, clothing. They also include something to cuddle for the younger children, perhaps a book to read, a journal, colouring books, pencils to encourage some creativity, a small toy or activity to bring some joy and to provide a distraction away from their turmoil. Karen and Darren recognise that children and young people in care experience traumatic circumstances outside their control. So this suitcase is designed to give them a sense of dignity and self-worth at this really traumatic time in their lives. It brings them hope, knowing that their community actually cares about them and gives them a safe and secure place in which to carry their belongings. Hope in a Suitcase Australia was founded in New South Wales. It hadn't existed in Queensland until these two took action and quickly established links and grew strong community support. They supply suitcases to child safety centres, fostering agencies and to hospitals. Karen and Darren believe that winning the Queensland Child Protection Week Award will ensure greater awareness of Hope in a Suitcase Australia and in turn provide self-worth, joy and hope to more children and young people in care. Their dream is that one day, soon, every single child or young person entering care will receive a suitcase of their own and know that they are valued and there is hope for a much brighter future. Karen and Darren, congratulations.
Thank you so much. We're both extremely honoured to receive this award for our work with Hope in a Suitcase today. These awards may have our names on it, however, they belong to every single one of our incredible volunteers right across Queensland who give up so much of their valuable time to collect donations, pack suitcases and distribute them to the children to ensure that as many children entering care receive them as possible. Also, a big thank you to our community in Queensland. They have blown us away with their support. So many beautiful donations that come in every week, and we just could not do what we do without them. So we are really grateful with the way they've run with it all. And lastly, we just thank the Child Protection Committee, Child Protection Week Committee, for this acknowledgement of what we do with Hope in a Suitcase, and we look forward to a day where every single child in out-of-home care and foster care know their value and their worth.
Well done. Such a practical project, delivering, as you say, so much hope and dignity. Thank you and congratulations to Karen and Darren, and thank you, Jimmy, for being here to present that award. Our next award is the Regional Program Award, and it's going to be awarded by Luke. Luke Twyford, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Principal Commissioner with Queensland Family and Child Commission. Welcome to the stage, Luke. This award acknowledges a program that operates within part of or across a region to address some aspect of child protection. And our winner this year is NELP. Now, a regional program that advances education and life outcomes, NELP. That's an acronym for Navigating Early Learning Pathways. A collective commitment to improve education and life outcomes for children in care, and also on intervention with parental agreements, or IPAs, led to the development of a partnership between the Department of Education, the North Coast region, and the Department of Children, Youth Justice and Multicultural Affairs, Sunshine Coast and Central region. And that, in turn, led to the implementation of the project titled Navigating Early Learning Pathways. The objectives were to ensure every child in care or on an IPA, aged 3 to 5, were accessing quality early childhood education. Prep age eligible children were actively supported to successfully transition to school in the most supported and the most successful way. The partnerships further embedded systems for critical information exchange that enables a team around the child approach. So this culture of strong cross-agency collaboration, so important, has led to a continuing evolution in education and child safety practices. The project's now been extended to focus on other important key transition areas, such as from primary to high school or from one school to another. The reorientation and improvement of the existing system and the service delivery has resulted in overcoming barriers to education and better preparing children, carers and families for school readiness or re-entry. Importantly, the partnership has seen the stacking of significant protective factors in favour of a group of children who experience a high level of disadvantage and vulnerability. Accepting the speech on behalf of NEL, we have Kathleen and Shanae. Welcome, ladies.
Wow, what an honour and a privilege it is to stand here before you today and accept this award on behalf of our two departments, the Department of Education and the Department of Children, Youth Justice and Multicultural Affairs, and to accept the Child Protection Week Award for the regional initiative. We would especially like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the following colleagues across our departments and regional teams for being driven by a strong moral imperative to work collaboratively and do better together to navigate early learning pathways for our most vulnerable children. We'd like to thank from Education Dr. Liam Smith, Kylie Smith, Rochelle Leslie and Tammy Hall, and from Department of Children, Youth Justice and Multicultural Affairs, Julianne Cork, Rachel Diggins, Connie Pay, the Bundaberg Child Safety Leadership Team, Tabitha Tilley and Karen York.
Thanks, Kathleen. When government agencies work in partnership, we can achieve great things. In this instance, we've found a way to significantly improve the outcomes for our most vulnerable children. We share really important and relevant information in both sets of agencies. When we come together and plan for every individual child to find a way in the most successful manner possible, that means that they enjoy going to school, they enjoy going to education in whatever form that is. And for us, that's really powerful, because that changes the trajectory for every single child that we can change within our power. If I look at you, Deirdre, I'm going to cry. Through this partnership, we genuinely hope to change the life of every child that we can possibly change. And we are very thrilled today to accept the award. I just wish I had a funky accent and I was heading to the beach. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Charmaine. Enjoy the glow. And thank you so much for setting kids up for success. Such a worthy program. Well done. I've never cried when I looked at you, did you? I know you're formidable, but just as well we've known each other for a while. Let's move on to our next award, which is the Education Initiative Award. Hayley Stevenson is the Assistant DG Disability Inclusion and Student Services from the Department of Education and is going to hand this trophy over. Thanks, Hayley. And the winner, and Uncle Alex is with us still. I needed a bit of coaching on my pronunciation. The winner this year is the yearly program. Now, the yearly program is a neuroscience-informed youth transition and engagement program for young people aged 10 to 17, here they come, 10 to 17 years of age, who are on bail reporting conditions and can't have their needs met by alternative education facilities. It's short for Yili Yapinya, which means brain, from the Wankamara Gaelali language. The yearly program seeks to break this cycle of detention by providing a bridging program to help young Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people transition into mainstream community and schooling. The program offers a second chance for children excluded from all other schools, and it provides the opportunity for young people to heal, to prepare, and to demonstrate that they are ready to re-enter more traditional schooling or training programs. Linking with existing educational, employment and support programs, Yearly focuses on aligning the social benefits of community with culture, well-being and educational outcomes. The local aunties, uncles and elders play a huge role, as you would imagine, in designing and delivering cultural activities, as well as playing a role in mentoring as part of the program. The program addresses the urgent need for the co-design, delivery and implementation of brain health, healing and fitness programs and strategies that incorporate brain science and neuroplasticity principles that are culturally safe and are accessible to everybody, especially to our vulnerable Indigenous youth. Well done to you all, and I believe Auntie Cheryl is going to speak. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. I first would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this beautiful land, and thank you, Uncle Alex, for allowing us and giving us permission for being here today. I'd also like to acknowledge all of our elders past and present and those in the room today. And also I'd like to acknowledge, as Uncle Alex has referred to, our struggles and our hardships, and particularly for our women that has allowed me to be an Indigenous woman standing here today. I witness daily the continual decrease in brain health, which has impacted our children, youth and family, and their ability to heal, to feel strong and be deadly. This is why I embarked on the journey to set up Yili Apinya, which means brains, and to help the communities thrive. There's a significant number of young people aged between 10 and 17 in Queensland who cannot have their educational needs met through mainstream and alternative education. Advances in neuroscience, genomics and brain imaging provide irrefutable evidence that adverse childhood experiences, including the impact of colonisation, disrupts brain architecture. This leads to consequences, both positive and negative, across the lifespan that influences our tolerance to stress and our ability to learn and to gain employment. This decrease in brain health, which focuses on healing and we do increase the brain health, is the missing piece that needs to be in education, brain health prevention and treatment programs. The yearly program is addressing this gap by providing 3 generational prevention and intervention programs that focus on improving the brain health, healing from adversity and improving fitness while assisting our youths return to school, engage in training or employment. The program does not work in isolation like many of the other programs that are working here. Queensland Police are very, very prominent and we have a very strong partnership with them on helping our community. It's ironic that we actually have an important relationship with the Queensland Police, but they're a very strong advocate for what we're doing and we work very strongly with them, just as well we do with Child Protection, Brisbane City Council, Queensland Health, Aranella Elders, TAFE Queensland. As I said, we cannot work together. We cannot do this on our own. We need to work together and walk together to provide the healing that's actually needed. I'd also like to thank the yearly opinion team, some of the people are up here on stage with us now, Joe Doyle, Elgin Saunders, Ella Bartlett, Raquel Tormey, Alana Tyler, Billy Ann Friday, and our volunteers as part of the yearly opinion team. The professionals I'd like to acknowledge is Professor Selena Bartlett, who's in the audience today. It's through her learnings about neuroscience that we've been able to learn about the brain and understand its plasticity and do something about it today. Not waiting for the research to come out, but today. And that's translational research is so important. Dr. Margaret Brenchman-Toussaint, who's a clinical psychologist, is crucial in me understanding and guiding us so that we heal the brain from the trauma. And some of other people that have been along this journey is Tracy Ryan, one of the very leading executive directors of Department of Child Safety and Youth Justice. James Horrocks, who's here from Queensland Police. As I said, we have a very strong relationship with Queensland Police. And most importantly, I want to thank the children, the young people, the mums and dads, the aunties and uncles, and everyone in the community who are working together in a very integrated and healing way to help everyone. Thank you.
Congratulations, Auntie Cheryl and the team on the fabulous work that you're doing in such a vital area. Thank you for giving us some more insights into that. Walking and working together, so important. And you spoke about collaboration, so it's fitting that I invite our next presenter to join me on stage, Assistant Commissioner from Queensland Police, Catherine Enns. Thanks, Catherine, for presenting this award to our Youth Participation winner. This award involves young people in the planning of local activity to promote Child Protection Week. And the winner this year is Solid Voices of Tomorrow project. Now, this is a Queensland Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Child Protection peak project that supports young people to use their voices to tell their stories. QATSIP invited 14 young Indigenous people to act as young consultants and meet with the peak body regularly to share their views to elevate the voices of our youth. They then decided to develop a resource to support staff and members in engaging and empowering young adults to participate meaningfully in service design, delivery, evaluation. including that their voices being central to leading change. The project promoted to young people the strength in using their voice to make changes in their futures while engaging with child support providers statewide. The project, I'm sure, will have far-reaching benefits to the work that QOTSIP does and for the contributions that these active young leaders make within their communities. The young people were active, paid members of the working group and articulated ideas and concepts that would allow them to have more agency in their own lives. The voices of First Nations children and young people were seen as critical to ensuring peak bodies and service systems, including government, understand and are responsive to the needs and the interests of young people. Through seeking to understand the life and the circumstances of the young consultants, QOTSIP aided the development of true leadership skills and set the children up for success and genuine opportunity to generate some real change in their own lives and, what's more, in the greater community. To accept the award and say a few words, Jacinta and Wallenborough, welcome to the microphone.
First of all, before I introduce myself, I would just like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land that we gather on today, the Turrbal and the Jagera people. My name is Jacinta Keith-Life and I come from the Ganji Nation of Yarrabah, Queensland, the Gurragula tribe. And I just want to speak a bit about my journey throughout the Solid Voices of Tomorrow project. Well, I enjoyed the whole journey, but I just want to say, being a part of the Solid Voices of Tomorrow project have been really great and inspiring. I've been a part of other projects that involves young people having a voice, but nothing like the Solid Voices of Tomorrow project delivered by QOTSIP. From being a part of this project, it has given us young people an opportunity for our voices to be heard and put on paper to be seen visually. Not only for young people, young leaders like us, but for older people out there working on the forefront with young people, whether it's in community, a rural town or a big city, that I really like. And so thank you all for your involvement in giving us young people an opportunity for our voices to be heard. Thank you to the Child Protection Week Committee. Thank you to Natalie Lewis from the Queensland Family and Child Commission. Thank you to Jessie Williams from Queensland Indigenous Youth Leadership Program. And also thank you to Wood Chopran, which is an AMS up in Cairns, for allowing the Solid Voices of Tomorrow crew to hold their first meeting. And last but not least, a big thank you to Quake, the Queensland Aboriginal Islander Health Council. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jacinta. And before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the Jagera and Turrbal people as the traditional owners of the land on which we gather today. I would also like to thank Uncle Alex for his welcome to country, and I pay my deepest respects to elders past, present and emerging. My name is Wallenborough Yana. I am a 22-year-old Gungalita woman from Burketown, which is north of Carpadoon country, near the Gulf of Carpentaria. Like Jacinta, I will be talking a little bit about my experience with the Solid Voices of Tomorrow project. When I first saw the advertisement for Solid Voices, I was right in the middle of completing a 18-month traineeship with placement at a housing service centre. I kept telling myself that I wasn't going to apply. I'm too busy with assignments, I've never done something like this before, and I didn't have anything important to say. But eventually I built up the courage and decided to apply anyway, and I have not regretted it. Being a part of Solid Voices has taught me the importance of speaking my truth and having my voice heard. It has also led me to other amazing opportunities. I was a participant in this year's Queensland Indigenous Youth Leadership Program, and I'm now a part of the Breaking Cycles program through QOTSIP. I have no doubt that QOTSIP will continue to help me grow and raise my voice. And yesterday I spoke with my fellow youth consultants and asked them what they felt that they got out of the program, and the answers that I received were They made a lot of new friends and connections. They learnt new things, especially about other people's communities. They made a lot of memories and felt like they were a part of something really important and special, which I all agree with. And then Jacinta and I have talked about what the program has been like, but I'd like to discuss what's next. So QuadSIP's next task is to promote the resource we've developed and apply its knowledge to their work. They will continue to be guided by deadly advice from our young people, their focus being promoting the resource at various sector events involved with the project, working with QuadSIP members in implementing the guide, seeking young people's indirect and direct involvement in this process, and using the guide to inform future QuadSIP programs and initiatives. We young people hope that we have spaces in government and community to have our voices heard. We want a seat at the decision table. We don't want to be involved just once off, and the conversation between youth and adults needs to be an ongoing thing so we can really make some positive change. Thank you.
Well done, team. Fantastic. Solid voices of tomorrow. You get the feeling we're going to hear more. Keep speaking up and keep leading. Fabulous young people. Thank you very much, AC Catherine, for doing the honours there. Let's move on to the Thriving Communities Initiative Award, which will be presented by our Deputy DG for Communities, Belinda Drew. Thanks for being here, Belinda. This award goes to any community-operated program, initiative, event or campaign that focuses on enhancing child protection within our communities. The winner this year is Stymie. Now, Stymie is an online anonymous harm reporting tool that schools are proactively using to support their students to say something without fear. Stymie now delivers a notification, get this, every 4 minutes. The risk factors reported include mental health issues, self-harm, suicidal ideation, bullying, illegal activity, cyberbullying, discrimination, physical fights, family and domestic violence, physical safety, and sexual harassment. What a smorgasbord. To date, this evidence has been used by police, allied health, outside agencies and schools to identify the right type of support for young people who have sought help. CEO of Stymie, Rachel Downey, has presented to more than 600,000 Australian students, with over 375,000 notifications being delivered since Stymie was launched. That was 8 years ago. 99,495 notifications in the past 12 months alone. 900, almost 100,000. Launched in 2014, the Queensland-based organisation works with 231 school communities, nationally and internationally, including 107 schools in Queensland. These schools identify Stymie as an important welfare tool which has had significant and positive impact on children, on parents and teachers, and that's why 99% of schools who subscribe to Stymie have renewed their subscriptions. One school reported that Stymie is amazing. It saves lives, but also has a significant impact from an early intervention perspective, where young people who are not in a good space can be connected with more formal supports to prevent escalation. Rachel is an educator with 28 years' experience. She created Stymie following the death of one of her students by suicide. Rachel's efforts and success of Stymie have been acknowledged and rewarded with the 2020 Queensland Australian of the Year Award, the 2021 University of Southern Queensland Alumnus of the Year, and the 2021 Sunshine Coast Small Business Winner, Health and Wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Stymie.
afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I'd just like to acknowledge humbly and faithfully the traditional owners of the land on which I'm visiting today, and I'd like to pay my respects to Uncle Alex and elders past, present and emerging. Something that we have definitely learned, and I think that if we all think about this, is that harm grows in silence, and it takes courage to say something. And I think that if I asked all of you to think about a time when you needed to say something and you didn't, I think you'd all have one of those times. Every day we are asking young people to do that. We are asking our future generations of young people to solve problems like 1 in 4 kids being bullied or hurt or harmed at school every day, 1 woman a week being killed by a current or former partner. We're asking our young people to solve problems around sexual harassment, grooming, online harm, cyberbullying. And the hill, some days for us, feels a little bit Sisyphean, but we do what we do because at the centre of everything we do acknowledge that child protection is all of our job. It is everyone's business. And I think today, I'm so humbled today, and Dev said before, you know, I'm sharing this space today with stymied people, but people who work in this space every day as well. Sometimes it can feel quite isolating, and it's lovely to come together. And I also wanted to thank all of you who wake up every day and do what you do for young people. I feel humbled to share the space with you today. In particular, I wanted to thank Stacey today, who is the backbone of what we do. And I also wanted to thank our development team, our presenters, and the support that we do get from education departments, and also this year from my family as well, because it's been a crazy one. So thank you very much, and this is very humbling. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel and Stacey, for being with us today. Congratulations on such a powerful initiative and effective program. You're literally saving lives, and I hope you never feel isolated again. You're with the good crowd here. Hey, lots of people around you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 more awards to go before we get to that cup of tea down the back. And our next award is going to be presented by Andrea Lux from EY, Ernst & Young, and it is for the Child Safe Organisation Award. Now, this goes for a demonstrated commitment to the ongoing journey of creating a child-focused culture that keeps children safe and well, in line with the national principles for child safe organisations. And our winner is G8 Education. Now, G8 Education is one of Australia's largest providers of high-quality early learning and care. Safety is an integral part of fulfilling that purpose, which is why G8 Education has created and implemented a child protection program. Headquartered on the Gold Coast, G8 ran a highly successful I Will campaign across all of their 440 centres, that's nationally. Team members reviewed G8's child protection statement of commitment, and they wrote their own personalised I Will, stating what action they could take to protect the children who were in their care. This led to hundreds of passionate G8 team members posting photos of themselves holding their I Will child safety commitments onto the workplace platform, and the creation of an I Will wall that's very proudly displayed at G8's Gold Coast Support Office and showcases team members' commitment to child safety. To embed a child-safe culture across all centres, G8 also introduced a child protection champion role. The champion's role is to be the voice of child protection. Champions have received additional training and guidance to have the ability to be a go-to person for their peers and to discussing child protection concerns, and to work to embed child protection centre practices by supporting and educating other team members and promoting this child-safe culture. The G8 network is committed to working right across Queensland and nationally to create child-safe environments by standing beside children and advocating for their right to enjoy a childhood in which their health, safety and their well-being is a priority. Congratulations on a wonderful initiative. Sophie Wilkie and Sonia Palmer are here to accept the award.
Thank you. So on behalf of G Education, we would like to thank the Queensland Child Protection Week Committee for presenting us with the 2022 Child Safe Organisation Award. Our priority has always been to create and maintain safe, secure and engaging environments where our children are respected, valued and above all have their voices heard. Over the past 2 years we have continued to develop our child safety processes and procedures to support the embedment of the national principles for child safe organisations across the network. We have empowered our team members with the knowledge to be able to confidently speak up and report any child safety concerns that they have, in addition to knowing how to respond to child disclosures of harm appropriately and safely.
The program has also enabled us to deliver vital body safety lessons to all of our children through the appointment of over 450 child protection champions across our network. Our champions actively advocate for the rights of the child and assist in embedding the national principles within our centres. We would like to thank all our passionate team members for embracing the national principles, embedding a child-safe culture, and for acting in a manner that is in the best interest of the child. We would also like to thank our Board of Directors and our Executive Leadership team for their ongoing support and commitment to ensuring all G8 centres are safe places for children. Thank you once again for this award. We will continue our journey to create protected environments while ensuring the rights of the child remains the focus and the centre of everything that we do. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sophie and Sonia, and please pass the congratulations on to the 450 other champions out there at G8 Education. Thank you so much. And thanks, Andrea, for doing the honours there. We're moving along. Kathy Parton is going to join me on stage now. Kathy is the Acting DG of the Department of Seniors, Disability Services and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Partnerships. Welcome, Kathy. This award goes to Our Children, Our Future Award. This is for outstanding contribution to honouring connection to family, community, culture and country through the development of policy, programs or practice that promote self-determination for First Nations families, children and young people. The winner this year is the Family Participation Program, Logan. The Family Participation Program was launched by the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Community Health Service in late 2018 to address the over-representation of First Nations children in the child protection system, to reduce risk and ensure that children are safe at home with their families. The team works to truly understand each individual family. They aim to reduce the worry, the anxiety, and provide much needed support to ensure impacted Logan family units are preserved. Their efforts have resulted in a reduction in the number of children entering over the past 12 months. The Family Participation Program implements training, tools and evidence-based best practices to really make a difference to these families. Congratulations to Family Participation Program, Logan. Who's doing
So my name is Jarrah Wetherell, and we are the Family Participation Program Logan as part of APSIX Brisbane. Before I kind of begin, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are all meeting today, the Turrbal and Yuggera people. I'd like to acknowledge Uncle Alex at the back there, and all of our other elders, past, present and emerging, and extend my respects to all other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people within the room here today, and congratulations for those who have already received an award. I would just like to, introduce everyone here, because everyone here is worth introducing. They're amazing practitioners. So we have Myala Waters, Donna O'Brien, Jenny Wallace, and Karen Brown. And unfortunately, we've got a few of the team that can't be here today. So Colleen Hodges is another one of our practitioners, and our deadly manager, Kylie Fleming. So Kylie has worked really hard in the FPP space, as so have the team, to build their reputation down in the Logan community on Yagara and Yugambeh country, and work daily to have amazing outcomes for our people. So I just thought I'd give a little bit of a insight on what these guys have done over the last 12 months, which has been that they've worked with around 180 families. And in those 180 families, around 1/3 of those families have had a reduction in their involvement with child safety. So whether that is that the children are no longer in need of protection and child safety exited their lives, or it may have been that they've returned home to family members. It may be that they have just increased seeing their family members. So today, I'm grateful and I'm proud to stand with an amazing team of First Nations practitioners who courageously support our families, helping them to identify ways that they feel will keep their children safe and ensure that child safety recognises their strengths. This amazing team sit with, they share space and work with our families during some of the worst times of their lives, and support families to exercise their right to self-determination and to be empowered to actively participate and lead decision-making about their children. Our team is made up of a variety of people, all having walked their own journey and had their own experiences, meaning that families sit with our team in a completely non-judgmental space that is filled with respect, kindness and curiosity. It's a hard job, but they do it every single day with strength and resilience. Every day we at AIX are in awe of this team's courage and dedication to our kids and our community. Although there is still a way to go, we have seen a massive shift in government bodies really honouring a family's story. Slowing down processes to allow families time to come to terms with the current situation and empowering them to lead discussions and decision making. FPP, and I know you guys feel like this too, we acknowledge that it is an absolute honour and privilege to stand with our families, to hear their stories and support them throughout a really difficult time in their life. But this crew has hope and optimism every day. They have respect for our people, and these folks work daily to keep our kids safe, healthy and connected to family, community and culture. As their shirts state, our kids belong with family.
Well done to the crew from Logan. Thank you for sharing that story and the fantastic results. Story about empowerment. Thank you very much. And those stunning earrings are a local totem, I'm told, emu feathers, and we'll be able to order a pair online. No, that's wrong. I doubt that I could pull that off somehow. Thank you very much and congratulations, and thanks Kathy for making the time to come. We have our final award now, and Deirdre's already on her feet. Director General, Department of Children, Youth Justice and Multicultural Affairs, and well known for making everybody cry, is going to present the final award for this afternoon. And this is the Transition to Success Initiative Award. This is for outstanding contribution made by local community groups or businesses involved with the transition program to get the best outcomes for young people 15 and over who are involved in the youth justice system or are assessed at being at serious risk of entering the system. The winner is 3 Big Rivers. Now, 3 Big Rivers is a First Nations community-led organisation. They partnered with Transition to Success in Townsville. The organisation helps close the gap for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander young people subject to youth justice or child safety orders through the provision of a farmhand course delivered over 14 weeks. These guys have flown down this morning from Townsville and are flying home, I believe. Let me tell you about the program. It's culturally safe First Nations staff and mentors offer training and employment opportunities in a dynamic and interactive environment. Now, the local elders provide support, allowing custodians of the country to be implemented within the project with a range of culturally appropriate learning techniques. The course saw 10 participants complete revegetation and regeneration of 5,000 native plants in the local region. These particular partnerships supported participants with an effective and productive transition into the workplace, as well as providing a visible return for the community. The result? Progress completion of 8 people into casual paid employment, and 3 young people were offered paid traineeships after successfully completing this program. 3 Big Rivers has also developed positive partnerships with local organisations to provide better outcomes for young people, acknowledging and thanking the Townsville City Council on Common Country, North Queensland Dry Tropics and TAFE Queensland. Important to thank your sponsors and your supporters. Well done, and can I invite Thomas, I believe, is going to say a few words.
Well, thank you. Look, for those who don't know me, my name is Thomas Holden. I'm the Executive Director of 3 Big Rivers. Look, we're only a year old, so we're a brand new company. Community-led organisation, but I'm also a Warrigamay traditional owner, which is up and in, so Wallowan Falls is my country. So, Uncle Alex, my spirits are talking to your spirits today, and I'd like to acknowledge and thank you for welcoming us and all these other followers that are their elders past and present too. Culture and law is a pretty part, or it's a very important part and integrity to our company because that's how we run our business. Just understanding the dynamics of what we've lost over the last 60,000, what we've lost is 60,000 years of cultural integrity, and what we're trying to do as 3 Big Rivers is re-enhance that, but using commercial dollars. We're not going to try to use government dollars. We're not interested in it. If it comes along, it's a bonus, right? That's how it works. We picked up a couple of contracts doing weed management, which we employed 100% Indigenous staff. So that automatically, and 2 of my supervisors are here today, and I've got T2S, who are one of our partners, who help us work with the kids. And that's important because we didn't have the skills to deal with that. Right? And we didn't have the money to pay for someone to do it, but they found money in their budget, we found money in our budget, and we just made it happen. And Ben was there on the day, and we did it in the middle of a park at lunchtime. We seen an opportunity, and I made a $50,000 decision. It's only money, right? But that $50,000 actually changed lives. The first experience I got was when one of them didn't rock up with a hat. So I said, supervisor, get a purchase order, make sure they've got hats. And one of the questions I asked Darryl Chong, the supervisor, I said, what was their reaction when you gave them that hat? He says, never seen it before. It's like they were gifted something that they'd never been gifted before. Surprise. And I said, how did they work today when they put that hat? They punched those trees in the ground and they doubled their numbers in one day just because we gave them a $20 hat from Bunnings. So that makes me think that these kids have got nothing. And we as a community and we as a state and a country need to change our thinking. And we need to double dare ourselves and make that gamble. I gambled $50,000 and it turned out to be one of the deadliest outcomes in North Queensland. And it changed a lot of kids and gave them opportunity and inspiration to actually think that they can have the opportunity to get employment. Our staff, 100%, the culturally safe environment is one of the most important things that we live by. We run our operations like that from the ground up. We even tell our stakeholders, our suppliers, that's how we roll. They're starting to understand. So there is a time now for every organisation, every community, every government level to actually make that change. And I want you to go from your co-design policies and the way you do business and turn it into co-decide. And start doing it from the top and the bottom. And it's going to work. It's going to change lives. So thank you for the award. I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank the T2S team, but I'd also like to thank 3 Big Rivers and the effort that the team put in. It's not about me today, and it's not about 3 Big Rivers, it's about everyone that was involved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas. Co-decide.
Co-decide.
I like it. There's a new catchphrase for us. Congratulations to you all. Congratulations to all our winners. It's been a big day, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to upload today's award ceremony to the Queensland Child Protection Week website if you'd like to relive it at some stage. But let's wrap up by inviting all of our award winners and our presenters, including ministers, DGs, Please assemble as best you can on stage, and that'll be the challenge for our photographers. We want to get a big team photo. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to everybody who has carved out the time to make today so special. Once we've concluded with this photograph, I hope you can join us down the back for a well-deserved cup of tea. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Under here,